first Christmas, he goes and he takes the message to some shepherds that were all by themselves. Now, we have the Magi, we have the wise men, and I know you've heard that part of the story, and if you haven't, I'll share it with you. They say that there were 3 wise men there, and the 3 wise men brought some gifts. They brought gold, they brought frankincense, and they brought myrrh. And so they came to the baby, and they stood there, and it was a great thing. Well, let me share something with you. Now these, when we see wise men, we feel good. But they were only wise in society. They were nobody in God's eyes. They were only wise in society's eyes. Because they were really magicians. They were really soothsayers. They were really tricksters. They were really individuals who would read a few good books and put it all together and say something real fancy like. And so they had prestige in the eyes of society. But they were not somebody in God's eyes. But the nobody in society's eyes was somebody in God's eyes. I encourage you and I challenge you to allow the Spirit of God to show you who's somebody in life. I hear so many stories of individuals following the wrong one, of individuals looking up to the wrong one. And so many teenagers want to be a part of an entourage of somebody that they think somebody who in God's eyes ain't nobody. And so if you will just allow God through His Spirit to show you who is somebody in your life. See, there's a big time preacher in your life. Might not be the big time preacher to folk around the corner, but he's a big time preacher. There's a woman that's so fine and so beautiful. You know the other folk don't think that. But she's so fine and beautiful in your life. There's a brother that sticks close with you. There's a friend in your life that's closer than a brother. But he might not have much money. He might not have all the answers. But that's your friend. And when it's going thick, that's going to be your friend. And when it's going thin, that's going to be your friend. Allow the Holy Spirit to show you who He placed in your life. See, He places individuals in your life, and He places individuals in my life. But sometimes they're clothed like shepherds. They smell stinky like the sheep. Their clothes are all ragged and tattered. And then the individuals with the waxed down hair and the tailor-made clothes and the smooth talking conversation, they're just somebody in society. But it's God who has the power. And He allows His power to flow through those that are somebody in your life. Now, if we're preaching and if we're teaching today, and if you're with me in worship, God right now will be showing you who He sent to you and who He didn't send to you. See, He'll be making a list, counting twice, telling you that one goes off, keep that one to the top. Who are the people in your life? We give the wrong people our ear because we think they're somebody. And we let them talk to us, we let them be experts. A great pastor that God had me, they allowed me to have the opportunity to kind of really fellowship with at a later point in his life. I don't call his name. And back in the 90s, he had the largest African-American church in the nation. Really did. And that particular pastor, old man now, and he started many churches all throughout Texas and across the waters, as they would say, many churches. Many people, many pastors that come and sit at his feet and ask him for his wisdom. So he got old in life. And he got old in life, and that was a small-time preacher, if you will. And he didn't know who the pastor was. And he was telling the pastor he didn't know what he was talking about. Sometimes we have an inability to recognize who is somebody and who God sent us and the wisdom that they had. That same pastor, he taught me 3 things. He said, you know, Reverend, there's 3 stages of a preacher's life. He said the first stage is called pitiful. And the preacher is just pitiful. He can't speak, he's breaking verbs and subjects, and I mean, he's just absolutely horrible. He said, but we need people to give that preacher a chance because we all were pitiful at one time. He said, and then the preacher will go through the second stage. If he's blessed, he'll go through that second stage where he becomes popular. And the preacher becomes popular, and you can see it in the fact that the crowds that come and the people who say that he's somebody, and the preacher is popular. He said, but you got to be careful with those popular preachers because they have no power. You got to be careful sometimes, old preacher said. He said, then there's a third stage. He said, the third stage of a preacher's life, and God allowed me to go into that stage. He said, you have power, but God strips you of your popularity. He said, because if he gives you popularity and power, you'll be God on the earth. And so he'll take you through popularity, and then he'll sit you down to a place where you become powerful. There are some senior citizens in your life, and they are absolutely powerful. There are some old neighbors in your neighborhood, you know, with the run-down porch and that old rusted truck. They are absolutely powerful. And so